Item 4. Willie, you gonna stick around?
I was asked to come, it wasn't my choice. People aren't watching UConn basketball right now. Probably not a good thing right now either, since they're
We'll
losing
get
at
you
halftime.
PR 16-176, 112 Glenwood Road, Board of Selectmen, request for planning report under CGS 8-24 for the sale of 112 Glenwood Road. Willie, why don't you just come on up and
Okay. The Board of Selectmen voted at the October 26th meeting. This is something that's been an ongoing plan with the consolidation of the Youth and Family Services and Social Services over the renovated police station around the annex to put the Old Mill School property on the market. Took a while to get people convinced to do it at the selectmen level, but we finally got an appraisal, and this is going to, the 8-24 is requesting to put that piece of property on the market. And so the bid, obviously, this, that, the other thing. So that's what we're here for.
And just for reference, the no district school.
No district school.
Thank you. I have a motion to recommend the sale of 112 Glenwood Road.
Well, can I just ask, Willie, is that a historical building, right?
It is.
Okay. Are they going to just demolish it?
That depends on who buys it. But that's not what we're talking about here. We're just talking
Well,
about
if
selling
somebody,
it.
I want to know, if they're going to sell it,
I don't know.
is it going to be destroyed and put,
At this point, we have no control over
And
that.
it's not really something that we can foresee. It could be a meat market as much as it could be.
It's residential, it's own residential.
You can have a conditional sale.
But not, this board can't set that, I gotta get, it's not within the zoning board's purview. It's recommended to a town meeting, and what comes out of the town meeting, and then the selectmen decide whether they want to put conditions within the deed when it's sold.
Does it affect our planning conservation development? Does it affect any planning modules that we currently have on here? Not will it be a historic building that's
So it's been,
ultimately destroyed
so
someday?
it's been referenced to us, and we can recommend it back to Board of Selectmen that these are the points for our PoCD. Can we? We can make a additional recommendation.
If you believe that its value as a historic building is such that you shouldn't lose the historic facet, you can recommend that it be sold conditioned on the building being retained. You can report back with whatever kind of report you want. This is not a motion up or down, this is a report. So whatever you think needs to be in the report to reflect your position on the sale, this is your chance to put it in.
And again, it would go to a town meeting where everybody would have a say. Obviously, everybody would be discussing it at a town meeting, where there would be more of an open forum so people can discuss what they would like to happen to the
Yeah, at the town meeting, they'll say this was recommended by planning and zoning.
Hold on. Everybody needs to come through me. I'll recognize you that you can speak. Christine, you're next.
Has everybody read the memo from the consultant planner?
Yes.
Because he specifically recommends that they consider placing a non-demolition conditions on the sale of the property and prior choice potential buyers who demonstrate a commitment to protecting this as a cultural asset. I mean, it spells it out very clearly.
Carl?
Right. The point is, we're talking about the sale. If somebody buys it, and they're going to do something, they have to come back to it. And they got to go through the land use department. They got to meet all the regulations, whatever they're going to do. And at that time, it's a historical, right? They got to go through all those committees to get a decision. So our decision is just based on the fact that is it our right to sell it?
Why we do the discussion?
Do we have a motion?
Christine was next.
I am.
No,
Do we
I-
have a motion? Because I'd really like to have a motion on the table.
well,
Or we sit here and debate something.
I'll make a motion to sell with the recommendations of John Bukowski that the building cannot be demolished.
And And that it's prioritized.
And it has to be, you know, that's the guy that we pay $4,000 a month. It's clearly stated right here that if the building, he strongly recommends that the building was built in 1882, not to destroy it.
Mr. Alvarado, is that all part of your motion?
Yeah, it's all part of my motion, Mr. Bousquet.
I'll second that.
Can you second it? I have to write a lot of stuff. And I'm not sure that the salary wage of Mr. Grzowski should be in the motion, but okay, do I have a second?
Wait a second.
Okay, discussion. I'd like to hear from somebody who hasn't spoken yet.
Just a question for the air condition. As Carl said, anybody who wanted to develop this have to come back to us. I don't believe that's the case to demolish it.
Or is it if it's a single-family house?
No, it's a, unless they specifically say they do not.
If it's not, if it's a single-family house, they don't have to come back to us.
So do they understand that?
I
That's what I'm saying to you.
would speak in favor of the motion, and I would suggest that the
You know what I'm
motion,
saying?
Sorry, I couldn't hear you.
I would suggest that the motion include a historical easement. That's the best way of preserve, you want to preserve the character of the house. I think that's the, in a situation like this, that's the best way to do it.
I don't think it's a house.
I'm sorry, the building.
The building structure.
Anybody else?
Can you repeat that, the historic?
An easement in the deed, which requires that well, it can require a lot of different things, but I would be concerned that the basic character of the building be preserved.
Just to be clear here, your sort of report here is that it can be sold, but with these conditions. So the 2/3 trigger on the sale is not going to be hit. Ultimately, unless you say, no, we don't think it should be sold, they're going to be able to sell it, and your recommendations for these additional characteristics need not be part of that sale. These are recommendations, these are not requirements. I just want to make that clear. This is a report, it's not a binding motion because you force the board of selectmen to follow.
I understand that.
So what do you say? You said there's an alternate path?
Well, no, I'm saying, ultimately, at the end of the day, it's going to be binary. Either you're going to say, yes, it can be sold, or no, you don't think it should be sold. If you say no, you don't think it should be sold, it triggers a requirement for a 2/3 vote at the town meeting. So if you say yes, it can be sold, but you have these additional requirements, these additional requirements are non-binding on the town meeting. The town meeting can say, thank you very much for making these recommendations, we do not feel bound by them. Anybody who buys it could tear the building down. So just understand that by saying it can be sold, the rest of what you are saying is simply in the form of recommendations that should go with the sale, not requirements that will have to go with the sale.
So this is again a scenario. So if we say no and ask Board of Selectmen to come back with the recommendation that they are looking for a report to sell with these conditions, and then we'll accept it.
You can do that, but of course, the Board of Selectmen is free to say,
No,
screw you,
thank you.
we're going forward anyway. I mean, ultimately, again, this is it's a report.
Well,
So if you say no, then the Board of Selectmen can say, thank you very much for your report, we're going to sell it anyway. So,
which is fine.
and again, I'm sure that.
Mr. Chairman, may I? And what's going to happen is it's going to go, regardless of the report, they're going to say, okay, we're going to move forward to a town meeting to sell the property. Now, the town meeting, unless you guys deny it, is going to say, more than likely, go ahead, sell the property, want to put it on tax rolls. I'm not advocating one way or the other, but if you want your voices heard, to control the property in some way or shape or form as a historical property,
the only way you can do this is by denying. And the second thing is, what the impact is, when you advertise sale of that property, and you put conditions on the property that you cannot take the building down, that significantly changes the value of the property as far as a potential buyer goes. And those are the things that the selectmen consider, and possibly the Board of Finance, and certainly when we go to a town meeting. So that's not what you guys consider, but I'm just saying, what Eric was saying, the recommendations that you make don't really mean anything to the selectmen,
And Mr. Newsom?
in theory.
This is just a question for Willie. Willie, with the lack of space at Town Hall, what's the impetus for selling the property? Is the carrying cost too high?
The building is a disaster.
Okay.
We've done a lot. We put, lipstick on a pig. We spent a lot, we spent money on it, roof, changed the heating system over. We still have problems up there. I don't want to use the word mold, but there's, things like that going on, to the point where, and we haven't even looked at the septic system. We were afraid to. I'm not afraid to anymore because I'm not doing it. But
Also, the restrictions of putting a municipal,
well, you put employees in the building, you're at risk. We had employees in the building, we were at risk because there were complaints, potential health issues, safety issues, this and that, the other thing, which is one of the reasons we got them out of there.
I didn't know that, Willie.
Well, there's a lot of things you don't know, but those things are done for a reason.
anybody else? Do we have a motion, we have a second? Would you like to
I'll
revise your
retract.
motion?
Well, I threw the mold and everything else, the money to put in there.
So what would you like to withdraw your motion and
I'll-
create a
I
new
will-
motion?
Yeah, because I used to work in that building, I did, so I didn't know there was a lot of problems in that building. I thought they had a new roof, I thought they were fine with
Okay, so you're officially withdrawing your motion?
that. Yeah,
Okay.
Yes.
Would anybody like to make a new motion?
Well, you have to have the second one as well.
Well, the second one, who was the second one? Is it okay to withdraw it? He withdraws his motion? Anybody like to make a new motion?
make a motion to go ahead and sell the property at,
To
recommend to sell the property at 112 Glenwood Road.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any more discussion? Any discussion?
So just to, in terms of your motion though, just to be clear, it doesn't, it's just a recommendation. So if it is a historical property, I think it would be beneficial to have the Board of Selectmen aware that it is a historic property in the town, and that the Historic District Commission should have the opportunity to have a say in whether or not to divest it with the options of demolition. So I think your original motion made sense. All it was a recommendation to consider it. I don't think it didn't say you absolutely have to, that's all.
I understand.
Any other discussion? Adam?
Yeah, I think my opinion is that, in the past, when we looked at the potential CVS site, that was a privately held building. My opinion is they can do what they want with their property. Here, town-owned property, my preference is to let the town vote on it. I would recommend against the sale, and they can go to 2/3 vote.
So this is just a recommendation to move forward to the Board of Selectmen?
No, it's not.
It's
To
not.
recommend to sell, or recommend
The
not to sell?
recommendation is to move it to the Board of Selectmen?
No.
No,
Well,
to
it's
sell or
already
not
in
to.
front of the Board of Selectmen. They're asking what you think.
We're making a recommendation as a board, correct?
Yes, you're making a recommendation as a commission as to whether you think the sale is a good idea or a bad idea.
And this referral will go to the Board of Selectmen?
Yes.
That's my point, is so ultimately, at the end of the day, it's still going to be landing on the Board of Selectmen, and they can decide ultimately.
I thought that they recommended read this report, right?
They have decided they would like to sell the property. It has to go to town meeting.
Their recommendation.
They are asking you for your opinion on what they would like to do. That's what we are. They're asking your opinion on what they would like to do.
So we're making that referral, it's going to the Board of Selectmen, which ultimately will lead to the town meeting, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
Everybody, still through me, please.
So just to
Eric,
clarify,
no,
Eric,
Christine,
you vote
please
no.
hold off, Christine. Eric,
Yes.
Simple question. If we vote no,
If you vote.
it goes
no,
to a town meeting.
It's always going to go to a town meeting. The only question
Correct.
is the decision to sell the property going to be by majority vote or by 2/3 vote?
Got it.
Okay, it is going to town meeting no matter what.
So if it's no, it's
No,
a
no, no,
much
not
more
necessarily.
difficult.
You report, the zoning board reports back to the board of selectmen, they may choose not to send it to town meeting,
I understand.
if
but
it's dissent. So it's not automatically going to town meeting.
Well, I understand that. I guess when I was,
Clarification.
but they get to choose on sitting town meeting even if you vote yes.
Right.
Ultimately, it's the board of selectmen's decision what to do. You're only giving your recommendation.
But if it's a no, it's much more difficult to get past.
It requires a 2/3
Two-thirds
vote at
vote
town
rather
meeting
than
versus
majority.
a majority vote at town meeting. Yes. That's
Mr. Chairman, can we ask Mr. Fritz, how much would it cost to remedy the situation up there?
I don't have a number. I had one a couple of years ago. I will not dare to guess at this point. I had an idea what the academy building was gonna cost to renovate, and people thought we were crazy until the church took it over, and now they're saying, wow, this is nuts.
Because I know that there is,
It's a big number, Ed.
There's a lot of, the fire marshal's got his office underneath the stage at the town hall.
Right behind you.
Yeah, well, you're in the building. What I'm saying is, you know, we run out of room here. That was, like, when I, with Shirley, when I, hired me, when I first got hired, we used to do clean up there. The building was beautiful. I didn't know there was a mold problem.
Eric, how do you have a 2/3 majority based on what? There's no quorum, there's no 2/3 majority of what?
Whoever shows
Eligible
up.
voters or just who shows up?
Whoever shows up.
So
It's
if
a town meeting. If you have 3 people show up and 2
So
vote
like
yes.
all our meetings, the fire department comes here, votes whichever way they want, and then we get the 2/3 vote. Or park and rec shows up. So right.
It's a town meeting. It's
Got it.
every other town meeting.
Got it. I thought it might have been eligible voters, but.
No, it's a town
All
meeting.
right, any other discussion?
Yeah, just one. I think it does make sense to at least make the suggestion that the property does have a historic building on the property. And so whatever we do, we should just include that so that whoever buys it understands that. We should make it clear, at least from our perspective on the Planning and Zoning Commission, that there is a piece of, there's a building that does have historic value.
So, Mr. Alberino, would you like to amend your motion at the end to just let this like we would like to see the historic value stay with the building?
I'd like to see, but I didn't know about all the mold. I don't know what the cost, or I would like to see it stay historical if we can save that building. And
So you're okay with you're okay with adding that to your friendly amendment?
yeah.
Can you read that back to us?
Chairman?
To recommend the sale of 112 Glenwood Road with the notation of the property contains a historical structure.
And we would like to see. I don't believe we're using it as a condition or a recommendation. Mr. Neer?
Yeah, I just want to say that, I've been in the construction business for 50 years. Why would I buy that building if I couldn't take it down and live in it? I mean, first of all, it's not a house to live in. It's a school building. The problem is you're either going to keep it or you're going to sell it, and if somebody buys it, they're going to tear it down. You can't tell them not to tear it down. Why would they buy it? There's no reason to buy it. What could they use it for?
Any other discussion? Okay, all in favor of the motion, please signify by raising your hand. So, Amin, Chris, Tim, and Ed? Against the motion is Christine Mike, Alan, and Adam. We're tied.
You, Jeremy.
Go set.
That's the first time.
Not for you.
All right, so I'll give you a couple comments before I actually give you my vote. One of the things I'm very concerned about is that since we've been sitting on this board, we have this love affair with historical buildings, but we have zero mechanisms in the town to take care of any of our historic buildings. So what some of us would like is that the town continues to take care of a building that they can't afford to take care of. We can't even afford to take care of our new high school, our fire department, our town hall, and the list goes on and on and on. That said, I have passed by that building every single day of my life since I lived in Kellytown. I would love to see that building. I personally think it's appropriate, since it's kind of out of our purview anyway, to say that the building can be sold and we would like to see it stay as a historical structure. I'm in favor of the motion.
Can I make a comment?
No, it's done. Thank you. All right.
Gary, what did you vote?
I voted in favor of the motion.
Oh, okay.
Sorry. You heard?
Yeah.
And I don't ever want to be the tiebreaker again.